Hi there, I'm Brian Hopman and I lead the Workflow Solutions team here at AP that produces ENPS.
And I'm Jeff Kofman. I was a broadcast journalist for 30 years with ABC, CBS, and CBC News. And I'm the CEO and founder of Trint, the AI-powered transcription and translation tool. A lot of our users are working together, working on both tools, and we're here today to announce that the tools are now fully integrated. You don't have to go from one to the other. They all appear seamlessly on one page through ENPS. That's kind of transformative.
That's right. I think, when folks are working on scripts, we want to save them time. We don't want to have them bouncing back and forth between different tools. So whatever we can do to save them time, I think it's going to help them tell better stories.
I 25 years ago worked on a very early version of ENPS when I was with CBS Evening News in New York. And I remember its arrival and it was jaw-dropping because suddenly all the things that were done manually and with stopwatches could be done electronically. Now the tool has evolved so much from those early days. It's so much more sophisticated. The ability now to leverage AI and to help people produce content rapidly is just the next step change in how broadcast news is produced.
Yeah, I think we're really excited about it and are making big bets because we see this as a next wave, that AI can take some things that have been really menial tasks for journalists and free up time, allow them to produce more, allow them to produce stories of higher quality because they don't have to be absorbed as much in the busy work.
Yeah, we talk at Trint about liberating people from the menial so they can work on the meaningful. And I think it's true. I mean, I think when I was a reporter, we used to joke darkly about the black hole of transcription. We'd come back from story shoots and disappear into an edit suite to transcribe my overly long interviews, and it was like going to the dentist. You just didn't really want to do it. And now the ability to leverage AI and to automate that process has been transformative. But now making that process so much easier, so much smoother is this next step that we're really excited to announce today.
Yeah, and I think it's coming at a great time because, as we know, newsrooms everywhere, they've got to feed the beast, and that means a new OTT platform. It means social channels that need to be fed, and the demands on the people that we serve are just every day getting greater and greater, and we know those team sizes are not growing. To do that. So we feel for those people and we want to bring them relief and really supercharge their ability to tell great stories across all the platforms that they need to feed.
One of the things that I've seen happen over the last couple of decades is that we all of us as journalists are drowning in this fire hose of content. The ability to quickly sift through audio or video content that isn't transcribed, transcribe it, and then look for the moments that matter, look for those key words, really is transformative in making that overwhelming amount of content manageable, navigable, and not just finding the first soundbite or the first quote, but finding the ones that are really good quickly.
Yeah, I think we couldn't agree more, and I think when you've got the text that goes with the video, it unlocks further possibilities, some of which we may be able to enhance now with this partnership and with these integrations, where if we've identified who the different people are through Trint that are speaking in that story, we may be able to feed off a graphic request to one of the graphic systems that we're integrated with. Again, can we save people steps? Can we save them time as they're looking to assemble those stories? I think the range of possibilities that it opens up is just really exciting.
And when you're covering an international story, like Ukraine or Gaza, and you've got people speaking in Kyiv in Ukrainian, in Russian, in English, maybe other languages, the ability on Trint to actually transcribe in those languages, translate, and instantly understand at least the essence of what's being said without having to use a fixer or a translator is just another way to expedite workflow, to give people access to the content without having barriers.
Agreed. I mean, I think we know that there is a need to be able to deliver all types of content to all manner of audiences, and some of those audiences are going to be folks that are not native speakers of English, and we need to be able to relay that information back to folks in the languages that are comfortable to them.
When I think back to working at CBS News in the late 90s, I don't think we even imagined it possible to do this kind of thing. I think that it was the idea that that something like AI would come along and would take some of the most painful, tedious parts of our workflow out of our hands and liberate us on immense deadline pressure to actually work on crafting a good story, not just finding those moments and typing out the words and timing them and all of that. The fact that that can now be done, and then done seamlessly now through ENPS without all of that fiddling around with tabs and where's this and then copying and pasting and bringing it over and then going back to find the next moment. I think that it's not just a generational change from the late 90s. It's a couple of generations later in ways that we just never saw coming.
Yeah. All right.
We talk about the newsroom of tomorrow. What we've done here is build the newsroom of tomorrow for today.